All right, guys, let me talk you through our very scrappy, super impromptu dashboard. No, it's not scrappy, it's actually really well done. Jim put a lot of effort into making things as easy as possible for you and your meetup group to run the events at 231 High Street. So here's how it goes. The very first tab was pretty much telling you what I'm about to tell you right now in this video. It's an overview first at who is opening up, what events are happening. So that's gonna be in the monthly screenshot. You might want to zoom out to see all of these things. You can see there's a lot of formulas behind there, so nothing is there for you to do. Do not put anything in here in writing. This gets its data from the other tabs. All right, so that's the first step, the monthly screenshot. The next one, and the most exciting one for us, is the events. Here is where you will put in your stuff. So events calendar is where it is. So for example, we're technically open as of next week. So there's one event tomorrow, Thursday gatherings, which we're just hosting through a meetup channel. So you can see an event link and the topic, what we are doing, when we will open. You can see 5 o'clock we are opening, but the actual meetup starts from 5:30. So it's more, so you can see who's gonna be responsible for going on site, opening it all up, switching the lights on and welcoming people. So you find zones in there as well. These correlate to the map, but more about the map later. Back to the index. So the events, you fill them in. If you cannot fill them in the actual events calendar, let's say you want to add something and it's not in here, the data from this comes from the event data tab. So here is where I would like you to go in, fill in your meetup group, put in your details, put in the organizer names, ideally your contact details or your meetup group, however we can get hold of you. So that way you fill in this data, it will populate these lookup menus in the event calendar tab. All right. So then let's say you put in your gatherings and your happenings. You put in what time you will be in and out. You put in your link. Let's have a look at the zones. For now, because it's such a large venue, we decided to divvy it up in about 6 zones: A, B, C, D, E, F. A is where we will have a projector and seats, and the same goes for zone E. We also will have a projector and seats because these back walls are very good for projecting onto. This holds about 40 to 100 people. We are flexible with how we are setting up the layout because we will just use curtains to divvy up the spaces. And since we have a community space in the back with the toilets being accessible from both sides, it makes total sense to have like a mix and match gathering, food, sort of, networking open area. And also it acts a bit as a buffer between those two areas where we can have simultaneously events running. So there can be 2 events at the same time and it still will work. So when you are setting up your event, put in there if you want to put it into host it in zone A or zone E or somewhere else. As I said, we are just starting out, so it's all in development. It all happens with all of you together. So then another tab on there is the custodian calendar or the roster. So that's pretty much who is opening up the venue, who's got the keys, who's going to be there at what time. So we've been playing around with that. Sometimes we put in little notes because we have people building on the other side of the road, so it might be a bit noisy. And yeah, as you can see, the custodian calendar gives you insight into where things are at with opening and closing the venue. The map, I briefly talked to you about it, and then there's a suggestion box that's at the very end. And if you have any ideas, we just have some fun stuff in there. Any suggestions, then just put them in there. So I hope you have a lot of fun putting your meetups in here, putting your people in here, putting your links in there, and then have a chat. Either contact me or Jim or anybody else of the custodians with the keys, or probably Jim and me in the beginning because we'll be quite involved at populating the calendar. And then your events will be showing up in here, and we can't wait to host all of you. Again, we have space for up to 4 events in this initial events calendar. If you're like, oh, there is already one event on Friday, but when I want to host another one, you go all the way over there. So you literally just slide all the way over. There is 4 spaces. So that's how these 4 events are being populated in the monthly screenshot. We're going to set up the October ones soon as well. Thanks so much, and I hope to see you soon at 231 High Street.